I have a God-fearing, loving, faithful wife who has taught me so much about family. I'm from a broken home.
From a broken home in Mount Vernon, he rose to conquer the brightest stages on earth. And he did it with discipline, faith, and a fire in his soul. For more than 4 decades, Denzel Washington literally ruled Hollywood. 2 Oscars, dozens of awards, and countless iconic roles. And now, at 70, the world was shocked by news no one expected. The New York Times revealed Denzel Washington's own words, "I bit my tongue almost half off a few months ago, and it's affecting my speech." But what exactly happened to this Hollywood legend? And what kind of life is Denzel living today? Let's find out. The unseen struggles. Denzel Washington didn't grow up with gold or easy days. He was a boy in Mount Vernon, New York, a place where dreams felt heavy and the streets taught lessons too soon. His father worked long hours, preaching on Sundays and leaving the rest of the week to quiet routines. His mother, Lennis, held the family together. She taught right from wrong, kept faith alive, and pushed her children to believe in more than what they saw. Money was tight. There were nights with empty cupboards, days when small coins decided what he could eat. Long walks home on cold streets taught him patience, endurance, and humility. School wasn't always easy either. Some teachers doubted him. Some classmates teased him. But somewhere inside, he held a quiet fire, a belief that he could rise even if the world didn't notice. During those days, he tried many things: sports, small acting gigs, odd jobs. Every role barely paid enough to cover rent, but he never stopped. He carried hunger with him, not just in his stomach, but in his soul. He learned early that life doesn't give handouts. It teaches through struggle. Every quiet morning, every empty cafeteria, every long walk became a small test. And he met them with faith and focus, because that's what his mother had taught him. In those early years, he learned many lessons, but one stayed with him his entire life, the one that still defines him in Hollywood: discipline. He knew talent alone wouldn't be enough. Discipline was the only way to reach the place he dreamed of. Whenever he watched older actors, studied their moves, he wrote down what he learned. Every setback was a lesson, every no, a step closer to the one yes that would matter. And then, after years, there came the moment. A moment to make a choice that would define not just his career, but the man he would become, chasing his dream. In 1977, Denzel landed a role in the TV film Wilma, a movie that portrayed an athlete with courage and determination. On set, under bright lights and watchful eyes, Denzel realized that acting was more than just performance. He had a spark that could move people. He could embody a story. For the first time, he knew he had a voice. The early 1980s brought more opportunities. He appeared in Saint Elsewhere, the medical drama on NBC, in 1982, playing Dr. Philip Chandler. The show wasn't a blockbuster, but it gave him exposure. Denzel learned quickly that Hollywood was a place where talent alone wasn't enough. Fame could come and go. Real power came from preparation, focus, and choice. And that's the moment he made a decision that he would never stop. He auditioned relentlessly, facing countless rejections. Every no from casting directors was a lesson. He studied the work of Sidney Poitier and James Earl Jones, writing down gestures, speech patterns, and nuances. And then it happened. In 1987, he landed a breakthrough film role in Cry Freedom, portraying South African activist Steve Biko. It was intense, demanding, and raw. Critics started noticing him. Audiences loved his acting, and that's when Denzel felt the weight of opportunity. He could take the easy path and chase roles for money or notoriety, or he could pursue roles that challenged him, roles that burned with fire. In the late 1980s, a script arrived that would test him like never before. A role that could define not just his career, but the man he would become. A role that demanded courage, heart, and a decision: follow fame or choose the fire within. When Denzel saw the script, he sat with the pages in his small apartment. Deep down, He knew this choice would change everything. And what happened next proved him right. The cost of success. Success was rising, cameras were turning, and Denzel's name was starting to echo in Hollywood, but his life changed for reasons that had nothing to do with fame. One night in 1983, when he was on the set, he met a woman who had a kind of attraction he couldn't ignore. Her name was Pauletta Pearson. She wasn't dazzled by Hollywood or impressed by bright lights. She saw the man, not the spotlight. Denzel would later say that meeting her was one of the greatest blessings of his life. They married on June 25, 1983, and from that day forward, no matter where his career led him, he knew where home was. Their life wasn't perfect. No marriage is, but it was real, it was steady, it was built on something deeper than applause. Faith became the foundation of their home. Denzel often remembered his mother's words, "Put God first." He tried to live it, not just by going to church, but by choosing work, choosing people, and choosing purpose with a different kind of vision. As the years passed, their family grew. John David, Katia, and the twins Malcolm and Olivia. 4 children raised not by a movie star, but by parents who wanted them to know discipline, humility, and gratitude. At home, Denzel wasn't the man from the big posters. He was Dad, the one who burned food on the grill sometimes, the one who prayed before meals, the one who told his kids that ease is a threat and hard work is a gift. And through every award, every set, every long flight home, Pauletta remained the quiet anchor. She once said something that explained their marriage better than any headline. "He is not perfect. I am not perfect. But God is." And then came a moment, a chapter of life that would test that faith, that love, that home, far more than fame ever could. The hidden battles, awards, headlines, red carpets, they create a picture that feels larger than life. But behind all of that, Denzel was carrying battles that cameras never caught. In 1991, his mother and his anchor, Lennis, passed away. The world saw him on movie posters, but they didn't see him standing at her grave, trying to breathe through a silence he had never known before. She was the voice that told him to pray, the one who believed for him when he couldn't believe for himself. For a while, he worked through the pain. He smiled for interviews, shook hands, delivered lines, but something inside him felt different. He once said that after losing her, he heard time more clearly. He could feel it in his bones. It didn't matter how strong he looked on screen. Grief has a way of humbling even the strongest hearts. Then came 2013, a routine heart procedure. Simple, they said, but lying in that hospital room, under harsh fluorescent lights, hearing machines measure his heartbeat, he felt something he hadn't felt in years: vulnerability. He remembered his mother's words, "Take care of your heart. It's where God speaks." It stayed with him. Those days of recovery were quiet and long, slow walks, careful breaths, a strange peace. And it changed him. Work was still important, but it wasn't everything. He prayed more, listened more, and chose projects differently. People noticed he moved more slowly on set sometimes, especially while filming the Equalizer films. Age was catching him. There was a time when he would jump from balconies without a second thought. Now he paused, took a breath, and said with a smile, "Let's shoot that scene first, before I start thinking too much." And in that season of slower steps and deeper breaths, something else began to grow around him. Something stronger than fame, louder than applause, and more lasting than any movie credit: legacy. By the time the world began calling him a legend, Denzel Washington no longer needed the word. He had lived enough, lost enough, and learned enough to know that legacy wasn't built on trophies or speeches. It was built on what a man leaves in the hearts of others. Hollywood counted his success in dollars and roles. They talked about a net worth of around $300 million, the awards, the records, and the historic wins. And yes, the accomplishments were real. 2 Academy Awards, a shelf of honors, decades of unforgettable performances. But ask Denzel, and he would tell you. The real wealth was never on paper. It was in the places he gave back to, quietly and consistently. He funded scholarships, youth centers, and arts programs, not to be seen, but because he remembered what it felt like to be a kid who needed guidance. He helped students at Fordham University. He supported the Nelson Mandela Children's Fund and organizations that served veterans and wounded soldiers, and he rarely spoke about it. Denzel is now 70, and he is no longer racing through life the way he used to. He doesn't run like he once did. He walks, slow, steady, grateful. His garden has become his thinking place. His prayers are longer, his world quieter. The lights of the city below once defined him. Now they simply remind him how far God has carried him. I hope you liked this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because we'll be uploading more crazy stories like this one in the coming weeks. Until then, see ya.